Hey everybody, it's Greg Harrelson here, and I just want to talk about online buyer leads and just share some tips, some secrets on how you can convert more of your buyer leads, especially the buyer leads that we get online. I mean, with the internet today, it's so easy to generate leads, whether or not we are buying pay-per-click or people are using services like a Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever you're doing for your lead source. Generating leads is simple. But there's so many challenges with these leads that I hear all the time. You know, there's challenges where, we're getting leads, but they don't give us all their information. There's no contact information. We get a lead and their name is Mickey Mouse with bad information, with a bad email, address, a bad telephone number, or maybe we're just getting leads and we call them and they never call us back and things like that. So there's just a lot of, negative stories around online buyer leads. But at the same token, there are plenty of real estate agents that are doing very well with online leads. Again, it could be whether you're buying leads, maybe you built a website and you're organically generating leads that are looking at listings on your website, etc. There's so many ways to generate leads. We do not have a lead problem in our industry. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this and you have an issue with leads, you don't have enough leads, if you want, just shoot me an email, send me a text, or call me, and I can talk with you and maybe give you some ideas on what you can do about that. But I do want to talk about a few things that you can control that will impact your ROI, the return that you make off of the investment into leads. There's some things that we cannot control. Like I said a moment ago, like we cannot control a lead putting in Mickey Mouse as their name. We cannot control if they give us a bad telephone number. That's going to be a part of the process. It's a numbers game. Some leads will be like that, and some leads will have good information. So we just have to focus on working the good leads and just realize, let's not stress, let's not give attention, negative energy towards these other leads, the Mickey Mouses of the world. So let me just jump right into the 3 secrets or the 3 tips that I want to share with you. Number 1 that I wrote down is this. These are things that you can control that will have an impact on your investment. In other words, you'll get a positive ROI. Number 1 is, we've got to get to the lead faster. We've been talking about for years speed to lead. And yes, speed to lead is important. What it all boils down to is you got to get to the lead faster. If we get a lead and generate a lead through your CRM or whatever service that you might be using, if you generate that lead, you need to get to that lead within a few minutes. Now, the reason why is there's a logical reason why. These leads are getting some notification somewhere that there's a new listing that just hit the market. And they get all panicky. Oh my God, here's a new one. We need to go see that. So they kind of get some sort of an anxiety of like, I want to see that now, or I want information on that. It's very impulsive how these buyers are responding to these new listing alerts, okay? So what they'll do is they'll go to website after website after website and put their information in hopes that they can get a quick callback. And so if they don't get a callback within the first 5 or 10 minutes, they actually go to another website. And they don't go to get a callback in the next 5 to 10 minutes, they go to another website. That's why we've always said in the industry, it's all about speed to lead, getting to them within the first few minutes. The person who gets them, the first agent who speaks to the lead has a 90% chance of setting an appointment with that lead. And the second and third agent that gets to that lead, there's nothing for the buyer doesn't need them anymore. They just needed an appointment to access that property. They have no need to set an appointment with another agent. So it's important, like, you be the first, because the first is going to be getting the appointment. The second thing is we're constantly dealing with calling a lead and they don't pick up the phone. Right? Just like you and I, if we don't identify the number, we probably don't pick up the phone. We let it go to voicemail. Well, then you leave a voicemail and they don't call you back. Well, maybe because they're at work and they're doing something at that moment and they're distracted or whatnot. They don't have time. We shouldn't make up any negative reasons as to why they don't call us back. It's just the reality. A lot of people don't call back. So what you got to do is a secret is you got to make a minimum of 4 attempts the first day. So if you get a new lead, call them in a few minutes And then if you don't get them on the phone, sure, leave them a voicemail, but you need to make 4 more attempts that day. So what I recommend is you call them, you then call them again, you send them a text, and then you call them again. Now, sure, you can send an email, but I'm not going to count the email because no one's going to respond to the email. But it's not a bad idea to send an email, at least get your name out there. But it's call them fast and then make 4 more attempts that day to get them on the phone. If you don't get the lead on the phone the first day, whether it's text or a call, the chances of you ever getting them on is slim to none. So if you're first, you're likely to get an appointment. That's going to raise your ROI there because you set more appointments if you get there fast. If you don't get them on that phone that first time and you call them 4 more times, or a combination between calling and texting 4 more times, then you dramatically increase your chance of getting them to engage with you and getting the appointment. That's the second way that you're going to increase your ROI. And these are things that you can choose to do. So it doesn't cost you money to do this. Costs you a little bit of time, but I'll trade time for an ROI. That's called ROT, by the way, is return on time. It's a great return on your time to do these things. And then the third thing, again, secret, it's not really a secret, it's just more of a tip, is on the second day, make a minimum of 4 attempts again. Now, the first day I say call, text, call. On the second day, I want you to text, call, text, call, text. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that's so much. Look, they're the ones that raised their hand. You're not cold calling them. They raised their hand. They gave you their information. They knew you were going to try to reach them. People do not put in their information into the internet anymore, not knowing that they're going to get calls. So they knew this. I make the assumption that if they're not engaging with me, if they're not talking to me, it's because they're busy. And I don't think they're going to remember to call me back. So I'm going to keep making attempts the first 2 days. And here's what's going to happen to my numbers. If I generated 10 leads and I followed this process, I will end up talking to 70% of them, 7 of the 10. If I don't do this process and I call them one time in a few hours and I don't make more attempts, I wait for them to call me back, I will probably only talk to 2 of them. 20%. If I do what I just shared, I will talk to 70% of them. So if I'm working with 70% more of my leads, or 70% of the leads I generate versus 20% of the leads that I generate, then it's obvious that I'm going to make more sales. I'm going to get a better return off of the investment of my money in buying leads, if you're buying leads, or the time that I'm using of myself to work those leads. It's the secret. Like, so many coaches out there are sharing all these magic pills. There is no magic pill. There's a simple process, costs no money, that you can choose to do immediately with all your leads that'll have a big impact. Now, I hope that was helpful. Of course, I'm Greg Harrelson. I'm with Century 21. I've got offices in Greenville, Spartanburg, Bowling Springs, Wilmington, North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Columbia. If you are in any of those markets and would like some assistance on building your business, I would love to help you. And if you're not in those markets, I sure hope that this information was helpful in some way. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.